All right, so you know it's NCAA March Madness time in the world. So today we're going to be looking at why is a perfect
Every
bracket
year,
near impossible.
NCAA.com tracks tens.
Let's go.
Every year, NCAA.com tracks tens of millions of brackets from the largest online bracket games across the country to see when the last perfect bracket busts. The NCAA tournament has been around since 1939, but according to the Smithsonian, the first bracket pool started in a Staten Island bar in 1977 with 88 people.
Mhm.
Now, millions of brackets are submitted online each year, and yet no one has ever picked all 63 games of an NCAA tournament correctly. How hard can it really be? Let's start with a popular answer, which you probably heard before. The odds of a perfect bracket are 1 in 9.2 quintillion.
Jesus Christ.
That's wrong, and we'll get to why it's wrong in a minute. But first, let's explore what it represents. Since 1985, every NCAA tournament has had virtually the same format.
Okay.
64 teams playing in a single elimination tournament consisting
Guys, let me know in the comments if you guys want to see mine cuz I'll make one for just
of
content's
6
sake.
rounds. Since only one team leaves the tournament undefeated as the champion,
Duke.
that gives us 63 games to predict in our bracket each year. So how does this affect your odds of a perfect bracket? Let's look at a hypothetical.
That's like a whole
If every
NBA
team had
season,
exactly
isn't it?
50-50 odds of winning any particular game in the
Duke.
tournament, then it'd be fairly easy to calculate the odds of a perfect bracket. We just need to find the total number of possible bracket permutations. We'll demonstrate this with a smaller example. Take a single elimination tournament with 4 teams. We can easily write down the possible permutations for all games here. In the first scenario, Team A beats Team B, Team C
Okay.
beats Team D, and Team A beats Team C for the championship. In the second scenario, Team A beats Team B again, Team C beats Team D again,
But
but
C
Team C
wins.
beats Team A for the championship. If we continue this, we'll see that there are only 8 possible ways for this bracket to play out. But as the tournament field gets bigger, writing down each possible scenario becomes
Oh
impossible.
my
Luckily
god.
for us, there's an easier way to do it.
Uh,
To find the total possible bracket permutations, we can
it's
take
gonna
the
be like
number of
a
outcomes for
billion.
each game, 2, and multiply it by itself for the number of games in the tournament. For our hypothetical tournament, that's 2 to the third power, which gives us 8. But even if we just double the number of teams from 4 to 8, the number of permutations skyrocket from
16.
8 to 128.
Oh, never
You might
mind.
say that number increases exponentially. If we
So-
apply this to the NCAA tournament 64 team bracket, 2 to the 63rd power gives us 9 quintillion, 223 quadrillion, 307
You just said it was fake?
36 billion, 854 million, 775,808 different bracket permutations. Since
Okay.
only one of those 9.2 quintillion will actually happen, the odds of getting a perfect
Oh, I
bracket
can't
in
even
this
make a
scenario
bracket
are 1 in
anymore because
9.2
it's
quintillion.
already been
How
happened.
big is 9.2 quintillion? There are approximately 7.5 quintillion grains of sand on the Earth. Say I pick exactly 1 grain of sand from somewhere on the planet, then give you 1 chance to guess which exact grain of sand I picked. Your odds of guessing correctly on your first attempt are 23% better than picking a perfect bracket if all games have 50-50 odds. So yes, 1 in 9.2 quintillion odds is a fun concept, but it's obviously not an
So
accurate
if you just put
representation
like
of
a
real
piece of
chances
rice
getting
in
a
there
perfect
and
bracket.
mix it up,
For
say,
starters,
hey,
games
find
are
that
very
rice for
rarely
me.
close to 50-50 odds. Some teams are just better than others. Secondly, most people don't toss a coin to decide who they're going to pick in their brackets. They use a wide variety of information that can give them a much better idea of who might win a game. That type of basketball knowledge is pretty hard to quantify in an equation. Finally, there's a certain level of chaos to the madness. Statisticians have been trying for years to create models that can predict NCAA tournament games, and every one of them has hit a
Yeah,
ceiling at around 75%
that's crazy.
accuracy.
If you actually get a
But with all
perfect
this in
bracket.
mind, there are ways to get a more accurate representation of the odds. For the first, we'll take advantage of the most basic picking strategy that gets rid of complete chance and uses the minimum amount of information available.
How do you do
Seeding.
that?
If you simply pick the better seeded team to win every game, and every game of next year's tournament followed the historical probability of each seed winning, what are your odds of getting a perfect bracket?
That's
Well,
dumb.
1 seeds have won
I'm
against
gonna be
16
honest.
seeds, 100.
How did the Miami Heat, the 8th seed, almost beat the 1-seeded Denver Nuggets?
136 times. That matchup happens 4 times, so we'll take 135.
I mean,
over
meant in the
136
finals,
to
but
the
like,
4th power. We'll continue this for all first round matchups. Once we get to the second round, we assume that all the top seeds have advanced. 1 seeds have won against 8 seeds 56 out of 70 times. We continue again all the way to the final 4. At
Okay.
this point, we would have 1 seeds against 1 seeds, which means neither team has an advantage based on seed. So we'll give
Oh,
these
yeah.
games 50-50 odds. Now with historical
Oh yeah,
probabilities
so
from
what would the
63 games of
champion
bracket
look
listing,
like?
we'll
Oh,
combine them. This equation gives us 0.00000000000247. For more context, we can convert this into odds by dividing 1 by that number. That
Wh-
gives us 46,576,546,546,017.
Bro, just say it's impossible.
So, in our hypothetical world where the NCAA tournament follows the historical win percentage of the past 34 tournaments, and we pick solely based on seed, we could expect a perfect bracket 1 in every 46.6 billion times. This may be a better representation than 1 in 9.2 quintillion, but it's still not great. This one is almost entirely too optimistic. The tournament doesn't follow a formula.
I would just
Roughly
look and see
20%
who's
of all
injured
tournament
or not.
games are upsets, where the winning team is at least 2 seeds worse than the losing team. So let's shift our focus for one more method. We've already said that quantifying basketball knowledge is hard to do, but we can look at that problem from a slightly different angle. How good is the average person at filling out a bracket? Thanks to picking
How
together
good is the
millions of
average
brackets in our
person on the
bracket challenge
team?
game
If
over the
they
past 5
if they're
years,
dropping averaging 40, then they're winning. If they're averaging more than you, that's a good difference. Look, like what I would do, I would look at the averages. If let's say Cooper Flag was averaging more than Duke Dennis, I don't know, 29.2, I think is like, 19.2 is like Cooper Flag's point average, and it'll say like someone like Vince Carter, he's only averaging like 10 points per game, and he's the star player. Who's winning that? That's
we
so
know that the
obvious.
average user gets approximately 2/3 of all games
Like
correct.
what?
If we take that accuracy, 0.667, and expand it through the entire tournament, we get odds of 1 in 120,246,505,336. That's 70 million times more likely than if every game were a coin flip.
See,
But
that's
how
what
big is
that.
it?
But
31.6 million seconds in a year. If you filled out a completely unique bracket every second of
Bruh.
every day, it would take you a quick 3,813 years before you had created
Quick.
120.2
He says
billion
quick.
unique brackets. About that. Last year, of the millions of brackets entered into our bracket challenge game, 94.4% were unique. Even with 94.4% of millions of brackets being unique, we only covered
Jesus
0.000000002% of all possible bracket permutations. So try harder this year, please.
Bruh.
All this might leave you feeling despondent, but in the 8 years that we've run a bracket game, the best we've ever seen is 54 correct picks out of the 63 games, which happened in both 2015 and 2017. Neither of those brackets were perfect through even the first round. In fact, most brackets that we track that stay perfect the longest end up doing pretty poorly in the end. So what should you take away from this? In brackets, as in life, you can't be perfect. That shouldn't stop you from trying.
Bro, jeez, well done, bro. Look at all them calculations in that. That's crazy. I never expect it to be that in depth. But happy birthday if it's your birthday. I don't know. Goodbye is all I know. Make sure you click this video right here. You probably can't even see my face. Click this video.